I've got Forrest and Ava from the New Federal State of China. Let me hit my favorite paper. Miles Guo, the great Miles Guo, warned us about this, about the Chinese Communist Party trying to put together an axis that will resist the United States and actually try to break and destroy the United States as they've broken and tried to destroy the Chinese people. Forrest and Ava, this parade, you know, it's kind of simplistic. It's, so many people were blown away by the parade and the scale of it, but also the precision of it. Can you guys walk us through? I know we have some footage that we're going to play as B-roll. Walk us through this parade, what brought it together, and the training for it, and what it shows about the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, I would like to, every audience can see that video. You will know, that video really shows the true color of CCP. And, you know, the CCP regime based on their people's blood, fear, and death on their soldiers, on their people. So that this parade is, because the parade, every single CCP leader loves the military parade. Why? Because there is two purposes. The first purpose is to intimidate their domestic rivals and to consolidate the power. The second one, of course, is to send a message abroad. So for this particular parade, Xi Jinping chose the September 3rd, which is on purpose, because they sent a very specific message to abroad, that is to deter the Japan to interfere his plan. What's that plan? The plan is to attack Taiwan, because the September 3rd is the victory day in China against Japan. So when he picked up that day, he sent that clear message to abroad. If you look at the previous leaders, they always have held their parade on the National Day, which is October 1st. This one is picked not by accident, they pick it on purpose. So that's how it is. And also, I'd like to say, if you see all the weapons displayed during the military parade, a lot of them is very new and it's advanced technology. We see all the drones and unmanned submarines, as well as the fifth generation jets. Of course, on paper, they cannot matching with what American has, but that's not the point. The point is the CCP strategy is always, you know, the quantity versus quality, because they can produce all those weapons, massive production, and then they will launch the saturation attack when they strike. So that's their...
Yeah. Hang on a second. I want to go back two things. One about who was on the stand and about the intimidation to the population of China, Lao Beijing, but particularly other members of the Chinese Communist Party. But just the training. You sent me some videos and some news stories that they actually, the precision was done because they actually had, was it needles? In the training process, they had needles under their chin to train them about the exact angle to keep their chins. Am I correct in that?
Yes, this is so-called, aesthetics of violence. Reminds me, everybody, the Nazi era with the synchronized formation. And this is the real side of the totalitarian regime you see behind the scene. And this is inhumane. A lot of people say this is up to the torture. But how do they achieve that? Because they're a human being. They're flesh and blood like us sitting here. So the CCP understand hatred. So that's why they lied to the Chinese people. If you're looking at the September 3rd, why they pick the September 3rd? They say it's a victory day. But look at it, who's the victory? Who fought the war? It is the Nationalist Party, and it's with the U.S. help, with the CBI theater back in 1940s. So the Flying Tigers, known as the Flying Tigers, they kept, provided air support and even ground support to basically protecting Chinese cities and attacking Japanese supply chains. It was a Kuomintang party in the United States. That's why the U.S. President Trump tweeted that day after he watched the parade and saying, "We helped China." But Xi did not mention that. Why? Because it wasn't Xi. It was Kuomintang party. Xi was not a legitimate leader. And the CCP, remember, stolen the victory from the people and from the Kuomintang party. So back to the inhuman and tortured. This is what behind the scene, and the Chinese people right now are fed up. Actually, but you don't see that because it's all about propaganda and lies. That's why before the September 3rd, the CCP had shoot 4 movies, just like what the Nazi did. You know, they excel at propaganda. They shoot 4 movies and it's anti-Japanese war theme. So they create those moments of nationalism. They stir up the hatred towards Japan, and then by telling lies. And then the soldiers who are standing on the parade, thinking themselves are fighting the Japanese enemies. This is what got them through the inhumane training, as you said. It's not according to me. It's actually another propaganda movie shot by the CCP telling people how the Chinese soldiers, those cannon foders, because they're coming from the poor working class families, none of the privileged, the CCP kleptocracy family was sent their daughters and sons to go fight in necessary war. So this tells you the regime is really weak. They're terrified and petrified of Trump and the United States, sees through those a parade show, political show. So that's why we wanted people to understand what's behind, what the essence of the CCP, and what the lie they're trying to put out. We wanted to warn.
Make sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, Forrest, drafting off that, you said earlier that one of the big audiences here was domestic CCP leaders, to intimidate them about this show of force. What do you mean by that? I thought the number one audience was the world. You're saying the number one audience was actually other domestic rivals or other domestic factions inside the CCP?
Yes, actually, if you look back, all the military, after all the major military parade, there will always has been follow up with the purge and all the reshuffle of the military power. So this is not about the celebration, it's really about control. So if you look closely on the platform this time, besides Xi Jinping, only Putin and Kim Jong-un, where's the others? Where's the other leaders, previous leaders? No. And even his ally, his ally Wang Qishan was sidelined. Why is that? Because Xi Jinping at his strongest point now, his kind of a hyper centralized power. But that tells you how much dictatorship he is, and also how much control he has. But at the same token, he's well isolated and also distrusted by his own people, his own military. That's why it's also the weakest point. I think we are facing a challenge from CCP, but at the same token, this is our opportunity to taking down the Chinese Communist Party because it's so concentrated power into one person.
And Xi Jinping knew it.
Yeah, Ava, hang on. I just got about 2 minutes, but I want to ask you on that comment. Do you see this as an opportunity? Right now, a lot of the world, the Financial Times, think that she hails China's unstoppable power. Why do you think it's an opportunity for those of us in the anti-CCP movement to actually move our project forward?
This is a stark reminder of what happened in 1930s. But there's a stark difference here. Hitler has a popular support from all class, including elites. But right now, Xi Jinping has neither. The Chinese people and the party elites are seeing one dictator that's steering China towards disaster. So that's exactly back to what Forrest was saying. The purpose, 80% of the audiences are for internal people, particularly those cadres serving in military and the high-level CCP apparatus. So it meant to send a message saying, I control the military and I can make you die or your life miserable. So that's the message Xi Jinping wants to send internally. But at the same time, he's sending a threat to the world, threatening Taiwan and Japan and ultimately the United States because they have demonstrated the capability of AI. Joe Allen talked a lot about AI, but this is something that we want the free world pay attention. There's 2 weapons. That's going to be the kill shots from the CCP in the hybrid and restrict warfare. That is AI-driven weapons, unmanned weapons. The second is US dollars, as we just today witnessed what's announced in the BRICS. And Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, just announced they're working on an alternative payment plan to replace the United States. So we really wanted to making sure you understand these 2 definitive weapons that they have been planning for countering the West.
Ava, where do people go to get the New Federal State, all the content, particularly the show?
Definitely follow us on Getter at NFSC Speaks, and also we have our X accounts as well.
Forrest, you have any other social media coordinates?
Yes, I have my, also on Gather, it's Forrest at Gather. And also, I don't think I have X. I have X also, I have Forrest01, yes. But Steve,
Ava,
if I may add one point, Yeah, I think
Go ahead.
Ava is right on the point because right now is our opportunity because on your previous show, your guest is talking about they want to live like 150 years. But that's the thing because they send the message they can stay there for 150 years, 80 years. Not even mention if they stay there just for 8 years, what's going to happen in the U.S.? What's going to happen? Anything will change, might change here in this country. So that's why I'm saying this is our urgency, is our opportunity to taking down the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, no appeasement.
Ava, what time is when do people go for the new federal state of China? One of the shows.
And the show is we have English shows from the Wednesday China Watch at noon time on NFSC Speaks as well. So remember, this is similar, eerily similar, like the World War II, right before the World War II, what happened to Hitler.
Yeah.
Peace for our time does not work. So we want Americans to understand they're coming to you, and this is a people's war. The CCP turning Chinese people and American people and into the war.
I think the real enemy is just handful of the top leaders of Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese people, not.
Guys, thanks.
Sign up for free and be part of the movement.
It isn't just an app. It isn't just a social media platform. It's a community.
Down, catch it.